In a startling incident in Miami-Dade County, Florida, law enforcement was called to an apartment complex late in the afternoon to investigate reports of a 3-year-old boy wandering around unsupervised. Child neglect remains a prevalent issue in the United States, with an estimated 1 in 7 children experiencing some form of neglect annually. Such cases often result in severe physical and emotional harm, underscoring the urgency of interventions. This incident, which quickly escalated into a criminal case, sheds light on the dangers of neglect and the critical role of community intervention. The situation serves as a grim reminder of the responsibilities parents bear and the devastating consequences that can arise when those responsibilities are not met. The discovery of the child. Around 5 p.m., local residents alerted the police after spotting the young boy roaming alone. Upon their arrival, officers learned that a neighbor had initially found the child sleeping under a stairwell in the apartment complex. This scenario is particularly alarming as Florida's heat index often exceeds 90 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, which could have posed additional risks to the child's health. The neighbor, concerned about the child's well-being, contacted the authorities to ensure the boy's safety. According to the CDC, children under 5 are among the most vulnerable to heat-related illnesses, making the neighbor's swift action potentially life-saving. The boy appeared disoriented and was unable to articulate where he lived or who his parents were, adding to the urgency of the situation. Community involvement and police efforts. The neighbors who found the child described the alarming scene. According to witnesses, the boy had been discovered an hour prior under a stairwell. Despite being provided with food and water, it was unclear how long he had been left alone. Community involvement in cases of child neglect often plays a pivotal role in mitigating immediate dangers. In this case, the neighbors acted as a lifeline, ensuring the boy was not left vulnerable to further harm. Law enforcement officers praised the community's swift response, noting that such interventions often prevent tragedies. This highlights the importance of fostering neighborhood awareness and mutual care, especially in residential areas with transient populations, such as those with short-term rental properties. A break in the investigation. The investigation led officers to discover that the child's mother had rented an apartment in the building through ERM. This added complexity to the case, as transient living arrangements often hinder efforts to establish accountability. Officers gained access to the apartment and found personal belongings indicative of a child living there, but no adults present. The U.S. Census Bureau reports that over 6.3 million children live with non-parental caregivers, which often includes temporary arrangements. These living setups can lead to gaps in oversight, as was evident in this case. Using doorbell camera footage, officers reconstructed the timeline, revealing that the mother left around 10:15 a.m. and the child exited the apartment at 1:15 p.m. This timeline painted a troubling picture of neglect. Tracking down the mother. The mother, later identified as 25-year-old Jessica Reria, was located following an extensive search. She was reportedly at a cosmetic surgery center at the time of the incident, raising questions about her priorities. Jessica claimed she had left the child in the care of a friend, but the supposed caretaker denied being informed of this arrangement. According to data from Child Welfare Information Gateway, neglect is the most common form of child maltreatment, accounting for 75% of substantiated cases in the United States. Jessica's lack of proper arrangements underscores a broader issue of poor judgment in child rearing. Her actions demonstrated a disregard for the child's safety, highlighting the need for educational programs that teach parents about responsible caregiving. Legal consequences and community response. Jessica was arrested on charges of child neglect and booked into jail. She was released the following day after posting a $1,000 bond. Under Florida law, child neglect is a third-degree felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison and fines up to $5,000 if convicted. The case has sparked widespread public discourse, with many condemning Jessica's actions. Child neglect cases often provoke strong emotional reactions due to their preventable nature. The arrest and subsequent legal proceedings serve as a critical reminder of the legal and moral responsibilities parents bear. Community leaders in Miami-Dade County have since called for increased awareness and support services to prevent similar incidents in the future. The role of law enforcement and child services. Throughout the investigation, law enforcement officers demonstrated compassion and professionalism. They provided the child with snacks, drinks, and a comforting environment, while coordinating efforts to locate his guardian. According to a report by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, swift action by law enforcement is crucial in cases involving unsupervised minors. The officers not only fulfilled their investigative duties, but also went above and beyond to ensure the child's emotional well-being. Their approach highlights the evolving role of police in community-oriented problem-solving. Additionally, child services were contacted to evaluate the situation and secure a safe placement for the boy, ensuring that his immediate needs were met while the legal process unfolded. Broader implications and lessons learned. This case highlights the potential dangers of neglect and the importance of community vigilance. Research from the American Academy of Pediatrics underscores that early intervention in neglect cases significantly reduces long-term psychological harm to children. The actions of the neighbors and law enforcement in this case showcase the impact of collective responsibility in addressing child welfare concerns. Jessica's decision to prioritize elective surgery over her child's safety has been widely criticized, sparking discussions about the societal pressures and personal choices that lead to such neglect. As society continues to grapple with these issues, this incident serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of failing to prioritize children's well-being. Parental and temporary living challenges. The use of short-term rental platforms like Parental adds another layer of complexity to cases like this. Temporary living arrangements often lack the community oversight that traditional residential neighborhoods provide. The flexibility and anonymity of these platforms can sometimes lead to situations where accountability is diminished. Parental has faced criticism in the past for not requiring more stringent background checks on renters. While the company provides guidelines on safety, enforcement often falls short. This incident underscores the need for both renters and hosts to take proactive steps in ensuring safety, especially when children are involved. Advocates have called for reforms that include mandatory safety checks and stricter penalties for negligence. That's all for today's video. If you found this video eye-opening or thought-provoking, don't just sit there, hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you're all about uncovering stories that matter, subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications so you never miss out.